Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Okay, I am very, very excited to be here with you guys today, and we are going to be talking about focusing strategies for 2022. Focusing strategies for 2022. So I consider this is one of the first podcast episodes that I am recording in 2022. So first off, welcome. I hope all of you had a fabulous 2021. January of this year has been pretty chill for us, but a little busy too. I feel like because it's the first live podcast episode that I'm recording in 2022 for 2022, I need to actually give you guys a recap of last year. And then we're going to get into the content of 3 focusing strategies that everyone can utilize for 2022, making it a really powerful year, a really focused year. Let me pull up the comments. So first and foremost, the Speak Your Way to Cash podcast grew leaps and bounds last year. So thank you so much for listening to the podcast. In terms of how we pivoted last year and how business went for us last year in the Speak Your Way to Cash community, it was a rock star year. It was a really rock star year. This last year, the big things that we accomplished, we produced. Oh, and I should have actually, for those of you listening to the podcast, I should have had the stuff by me. I don't know if I do, but I don't. So this is one of the things that we produced. We produced a book last year. I'm going to go over what we produced last year. We produced a book last year. We produced a journal last year. This is our Speak Your Way to Cash journal. We had it manufactured overseas. We started selling it last year. We had our largest Speak Your Way to Cash live event ever last year. Our most successful Speak Your Way to Cash live. We redid all of our boxes for our live events last year. So we did that. We also, I don't know if that's the right word, but I think it is. We codified and put in print the curriculum for Speak Your Way to Cash Academy. So in addition to producing a book, producing a journal, we put all of the curriculum for Speak Your Way to Cash Academy into a workbook that we were able to give out to everyone who joined the Speak Your Way to Cash Academy last year, which was incredible. We have our largest class for the Speak Your Way to Cash Academy. We produced this workbook for Speak Your Way to Cash Live last year. It was just a year of production. Then I produced an audiobook, went to the studio, read my own audiobook. It was a really big year for us. And we solidified how we want to serve the Speak Your Way to Cash community. We updated and revised our Speak Your Way to Cash course. And we loaded more than 10 new courses into our shop. So as you all know, for a while, the only way to work with me has been come to our event, take one of our courses, or attend or join the Speak Your Way to Cash Academy. And to join the Speak Your Way to Cash Academy, it was a large investment. It is a large investment. 5-figure plus investment there. Our course was a 4-figure investment. Our event's a 4-figure investment. It's just expensive to work with us. That is what it is. But this year, because we wanted to serve more of you, we wanted to make sure our podcast listeners had something unique, we actually launched our shop. And what we did with the shop was we took some of our old courses, some of our older content, and we broke it out into individual courses and put that on the shop for you all to be able to consume for a nominal investment. Like a lot of things on the shop we have some things under $100, we have some things under $300. It's just a whole different vibe over there. Okay. So you can get things affordably. And if you want to get our books for this month and next month, I don't know how long I'll be selling the books directly, but the hardcover book is available on Amazon. But if you want a soft cover book, you can also get a soft cover book with the journal, get a bundle on our shop. All right. So last year was a year of production. I learned a lot. I accomplished a lot with a really good team. And it was one of the first years that I felt like I've always had a team in some capacity, but last year I felt like, okay, I have people who really love what we're doing, who really love our mission, who really have our back. And it was next level. I really enjoyed working with them. So our event was just, oh my gosh. If you didn't attend Speak Your Way to Cash Live last year, I want you to start getting your coins together to attend Speak Your Way to Cash Live 2022. We're solidifying the venue this month for the 2022 event. So I'll be releasing the dates and ticket sales and all that. And we're actually going to launch ticket sales in a really cool way. So if you have ever purchased anything from us and we have your mailing address, we're going to invite you to a private shopping experience where you can get your ticket. So everyone won't even know about that. Okay, I shouldn't have even mentioned it just now. Anyways, we're going to do something real dope to launch the tickets for Speak Your Way to Cash Live 2022. But overall, last year was really good. And what it showed me was whatever you focus on grows. So last year, I put a lot more of my effort into Speak Your Way to Cash. And I hired people and set up my other business so that it could be run almost independently from me. And what that meant was Speak Your Way to Cash grew leaps and bounds. But whatever you focus on grows. And if you're the prime person selling for your business, then and you focus on that one business, it's going to grow. And so I really focused on growing Speak Your Way to Cash. We're going to keep that same energy this year and grow it even more. We have some really exciting things that we're doing. Do you have the Academy curriculum? I don't know if you have one. You do? Okay. So I was just talking to Chris, guys, for my podcast fam. But it was an incredible year. Revenue was way up for Speak Your Way to Cash. And it was great. And I was still learning how to be a mom. So on a personal note, I don't know if you're a mom and you're watching this live, just drop mom in the comments. Because that was a lot, right? Like learning how to be a new mom, learning what rest looks like, learning how fast my daughter grows and just making sure that I'm spending enough time with her. It was Chris's first almost full year joining the business. So in February, it'll be Chris's 1-year anniversary working in the business full time. So us learning to work together, learning our different working styles, all of that was brand new last year. And it was really good. And so I think Chris will take credit for this. But since Chris joined, can you all still, someone called me, so I don't know if they can hear me on Instagram. Let me know if you all can still hear me on Instagram. Otherwise, I'll get off and come right back. But Chris joined last year. And so that was incredible. Revenue grew a lot and no one left the company. So he did a lot with making sure people stayed at the company, making sure they felt valued. We talk a lot about management style, leadership styles, learning styles, different personality types. And that really did help. So last year was a good year. I'll probably do a podcast episode on just like that, my 10 biggest lessons from last year, and explain that a little bit more. But we're going to get into the content for today. If you all can still hear me and see me, just drop yes in the chat. Just drop yes in the chat if you all can still hear me and see me. And okay, so let's get into it. 3 strategies for staying focused in 2022. 3 strategies for staying focused in 2022. Number 1, when looking at, okay, here's the number 1 tip. Know your 2021 numbers specifically. And we'll talk about what numbers you should be tracking. And for everyone who's a speaker or an entrepreneur listening to this podcast, this may be when you want to get out some notes because this is going to be good. So you want to know your numbers from 2021 in order to stay focused in 2022. Some of you who have been following me on Instagram stories have known that like December and January, we're pretty much off. We're working internally. We're resting. We're getting ready for a really powerful year. My academy starts in February. So in December, what we did was we went on a retreat and we tracked all of our numbers from 2021. And specifically, we wanted to know who were our 5 largest clients on the business side. What were the 5 companies that invested the most business in our products and in our services? So that was the first thing we wanted to know. Number 2, we wanted to know what were our expenses, what was our largest expense, and what was the return on investment for that expense. So these are the things that you want to be tracking. And then number 3, what products or services sold the least so that we can figure out what we need to cut or what we need to change about the way we deliver that product or service. Then we want to know which product or service costs the most in time and hard resources, money, to deliver the product and service. Because once you track these things, you can then make decisions about, all right, I'm focusing all on this. I'm not doing this anymore. I am going to continue to do this. So you want to look at your numbers for 2021, know what those numbers are, and that'll help you focus in 2022. So number 1 is you got to know your numbers so that you know what you should be focusing on. And then don't be delusional about your numbers. Be honest about them. So if you need to shut down a line of business, if you need to pivot, if you need to stop doing a particular service, then don't be delusional about it. Do it. Make the decisions that you need to make, even if it's difficult to make that decision. Do what you got to do as a CEO. And then when you're looking at your numbers and you're making these decisions, one thing I want you to do is separate what you want to do as an individual and what you want to do and what you need to do, what you are obliged to do as a fiduciary of your company, as a CEO. Okay. So those are the two things that I wanted you all to keep in mind. All right. So that's number one. Know your numbers. Your numbers are going to help you focus. Number two, personal assessment. Make a personal assessment of your health. And there are 3 areas of health that I look at when I'm doing a personal assessment to figure out where I need to focus and where I need to improve. Spiritual, financial, interpersonal. So that's like relational. So I look at spiritual, like am I close to God? And do I need to pray more? Do I feel disconnected? Do I feel motivated? How is my faith? If you don't, whatever you believe in, do your spiritual assessment the way you need to do it. I'm just telling y'all what I do. The second is interpersonal for me. You know, how's my relationship with my husband? Do I need to spend more time with him? Are we still connected on all levels we need to be connected on? Are we spending enough time together? Are we making sure that we're doing what we need to do? And then financial. This is a big one. I look at how much am I paying in taxes? How is my credit? How prepared are we to retire? What are our retirement accounts looking like? What's our retirement plan? And then the other thing that we looked at last year that we're committed to making sure is right this year is if I were to die, frankly, not saying anything negative for all you like, only speak positive things. Look, let's be real here. I have a kid, I have a husband, I have a business, I have clients, I have people who are invested in me being alive. But if I were to die, how prepared am I for that? How organized am I for that? What does my will say? How often are we looking at those assets? Is there a, do I have the right person on my bank accounts that if I were to pass away, they were able to get the money? Like Chris needs to get the money. And then I looked at, obviously, Christelle's financial health. As a business owner, there are certain things that I can do for her to set her up. Like we licensed her image in our commercial. Christelle gets paid for that. Christelle has a full-time nanny. Christelle has things that we need to prepare for financially for her. So how healthy are we on that front too? So when I look at financial health, those are the things that I look at for 2021 to see what I need to focus on in 2022. And then 3, I just do an assessment of like, did I have fun last year? Did I enjoy what I did? I made money. It was great. But did I like the way that I made it? Was I working a little bit too hard? Is there anything that I can do to set me up for, is there anything I can do to build upon the success that I already had? Because here's what I'm going to say, guys. And if you've ever done this, put me too. Every year does not mean you need to start new stuff. At this point in my life, I want to leverage and build, period. Like at this point in my business life, at this point in my professional life, I want to leverage and I want to build. I don't want to deconstruct and start over every single year. There are a lot of things that are working out. There are a lot of things that we need to change, but I want to leverage and I want to build upon what I've already done, which means the better I can analyze what I did, the better I can track the data, the better spreadsheets we have that analyze all the posts that we made and links to all the live videos, we can leverage and we can build. So I'm live right now, but sometimes you all may see live videos of me, but I recorded that video 2 years ago, but my team has scheduled it to go out so that we could leverage and build what I've already done. And that's the way that it should be. We shouldn't be starting from scratch, because if we do, we can't build. A lot of people talk about generational wealth. That is wealth that builds upon the work and the efforts of previous generations. So if every year we're starting over, every generation we're starting over, there can be no leveraging, there can be no building. That is why there is not generational wealth in some families, regardless of race. It's because there has not been enough leveraging and there has not been enough building. And so I am very committed this year to leveraging and building so that I'm not starting from scratch each and every year. So those are the 3 things that we do to focus. Now, after you do all those 3 things and you got your numbers and you analyze where you're at and you figure out if you're having fun. And so to recap, the 3 things that we are looking at: 1, we're looking at the numbers, the business numbers, to figure out what we need to focus on and what we need to cut. Then we're going to look at health, relational, financial, and what was the other one? Now I forgot it. Spiritual. There we go. We look at the spiritual health. And then lastly, I just analyzed, did I enjoy the way that I lived my life last year? That's just a personal assessment of, did I like it? And so once you have all that data, now it's time to focus. This is the good part. Now you're going to be focusing on, okay, this year for business, this year, this is what I'm going to sell, period. And then you develop your year-long marketing and sales plan. You put all the dates on the calendar. This is what we did. We put all the dates on the calendar for our launches and everything else. And we analyze how we're going to do them, who's responsible for which piece of which projects, and we move forward with that plan. If anything gets added, it gets added. But for the most part, we don't want to, this year, we don't want to be adding things. We want to be leveraging what we did last year and building upon it for this year. We really want to stay focused. And if anything isn't in alignment with the goals that we've set out for ourselves, the goals that we have for our business, then it's easier to say no to those things. I'm also committed to spending less time on social media, just personally, like the random scrolling. I don't really have time for that. I don't want to get caught up in that. I want to consume really good content, engage, and then I want to be purposeful about the time that I spend online, because instead of taking my phone to the bathroom, I mean, this might be a little TMI, but like, we're podcast fam here. But like, instead of taking my phone to the bathroom or whatever, like take a book, right? Like take a book before, instead of scrolling in the morning, grab a book, grab the Bible. We've started to have dinner at the dinner table instead of in front of the TV, like just little bitty things that I personally want to do to make sure I'm staying focused and I am not getting burnt out. Because I'll tell you guys, if you are, a lot of people in entrepreneurship promote, hey, I'm living my dream life. This is my dream. I've loved this, blah, blah, blah. And it is my dream. However, if I don't steward what I have well, it can become a nightmare. Even though I'm blessed to do this work. If I don't have boundaries, if I'm not clear on what I should be doing, if I'm not declining to work with people I should not be working with, if I'm not focused on building the sales side of my business, building the marketing side of my business, but I'm instead scrolling all day, that dream can become a nightmare. That can become a nightmare. Absolutely. Yes. You want to set an example for your daughter. That's such a good point. We had a comment for those of you listening on the podcast that said, I am also reading more hard copy books to set the example for my daughter. I absolutely love that. So that's what I am focusing on this year. My word for this year is expand. That's my word for this year, expand. However, it is a deliberate expansion. It is a deliberate expansion. That does not mean I take any and all opportunities. I give any and everybody my time. It means now that we know who we serve, now that we know how we can market and it can be successful, we want to expand those efforts and we want to invest more money into those efforts, but we want to do so with wisdom. We're not out here just working with anybody. So you'll see more purposeful collaborations from me this year. You'll see more, you'll see us featured on large platforms this year more. You will see us growing our influence in that area. You will see us consistently showing up, promoting our products to the right audience. And you'll really hear me just be honest about who I serve. I was listening to someone the other day, they're getting a lot of heat for something random, but whatever. They're getting a lot of heat. And it's because this is one of my thoughts on it. Sometimes coaches and consultants get a lot of heat from people because they pretend that what they teach and what they do is for everyone and that anyone can make it work. They don't need any experience. You don't need any qualifications. Come one, come all. I got this life hack. And in 30 days, I'm going to teach you how to make $20 million and all this stuff. We've never taken that approach. We've always been very clear that at Speak Your Way to Cash, we work with highly qualified and successful people and teach them how to leverage and package their expertise for the corporate and collegiate market. That's who we work with. So when my clients get results, it's not just because I'm so great. It's because they were already amazing. And they came to me not because they wanted me to fix them, but because they wanted me to help them reposition their expertise and just gain more confidence in the dominance that they already have inside of them. So I'm not someone who works with I'm not taking you from bad to good, right? I'm not doing that. That's not my goal. That's not who I'm called to. I'm called to the great. I'm called to help the great. I am. I know it. And I'm clear about it. And so even if that means I won't get any and everybody that comes, great. I love working with excellent people. I love working with people who've already invested a lot of time, money, and experience into getting a craft really, really good. And I love working with people who feel like everyone, because I know my people who feel like I done went and got all these degrees. I done went and worked this amazing job for this big corporation. And to everyone else, you look successful. To everyone else, you look successful. But when you go home at night, you still feel like you're called to do more with your expertise. That's who I work with. I work with the woman who may already be making very close to or 6+ figures, but she doesn't love what she's doing day to day. And she knows that if she just had the skill set, she could take that expertise and sell it to corporations. Or I work with the entrepreneur that's already made 6 figures in entrepreneurship. You've already achieved something. You may not have gone to school. You may not have gotten a college degree or an advanced degree, but you've gotten a degree in, the school of life. You've achieved some things in your business, and now you just want to add corporate clients as a revenue stream, but you're already great. There may be some confidence things we need to work on, but the truth of the matter is I'm an executive high performance coach. So I'm not, or consultant, however you want to phrase it. So I'm not someone who, you're not, my clients typically don't come to me and be like, Ashley, I don't know anything. I've never heard that from my clients. They don't say things like that. And for the most part, they avoid making excuses because they understand that it does take work to achieve great things. So yeah, I could make more money if I were to just lie to you guys and be like, hey, anybody can get paid a 6-figure speaking contract. Anybody could do it. It doesn't matter if you have no expertise. Give me $5 in 30 days and you're going to be rich. I don't promote like that because for my own value system, I don't work with those people. If you don't have an expertise, I'm not your girl because I work with the great. And it's okay to say that. I think that there are people who believe that in order to be a 7-figure or a successful coach, whatever that looks like to you, you have to like make your audience feel like they're idiots. You have to be like, oh, you all don't know anything until you get this little ebook. You know what I mean? I think it's just shallow marketing is what I personally believe. But okay, if that's what you feel like you have to do, but I'm a powerful woman. So I'm not working with anyone that makes me feel like I'm an idiot because I know that to be false. And so, yes, I work with the great. I work with the excellent. I work with the people who've already achieved something, but maybe need to pivot. I'm not going to tell you that you're unqualified. I'm not going to make you feel bad to work with me, and I'm not going to guilt trip you into it. I work with decisive leaders, people who are okay with making a buying decision because they know whether it's the right decision or the wrong decision, they are powerful enough to recover. I work with dominant people. So I'm not for everybody, and that's okay too. We're leaning heavily into the not for everybody this year, okay? We're going to be very clear about who we work with because there's some of you could have more influence if you just used your authentic voice and not the voice that you read about in a book, not the voice that you believe you have to use in order to be successful online. Come straight out and say who you work with. And if you're someone who's like, well, I do work with people who are at the very beginning of their career, excellent. Say that too. That's just not my market. It's not. Speaking may be new to you, but you're not new to your expertise. You see what I'm saying? So it may be new to you to get corporate clients, but you're not new to the thing that you're great at. You have an expertise. You may not know how to package it appropriately, how to position it correctly, how to sell it with clarity, but you're not new to your expertise. So yeah, I work with great people, and I think it's okay to say that. I think that's fine. I think my clients are okay with me saying that. Y'all are dope. I work with great people. You get results after you work with me, it's because you were already great. I help you position it. I didn't make you. I don't need to make you. My ego isn't such that I need to make people. Like, that's the other thing. So look, I only say this because when it comes to focus, I'm reading a really good book on copywriting. I think it's called like Copywriting Secrets. It's a good book. I like it. One of the things he says in the book that I liked, and it's not necessarily that I haven't heard it before, but I just love being reminded of it. He was like, what great copy does is it excludes more than it includes. And I like that. I like that. Not like not to diminish other people or whatever, but like your language to your audience should be excluding people who aren't right for your offer, so that even if you get less people in, you get more of the right people. And you know something else? When you start talking the way that you want to talk to your audience, what'll happen is the people who may not feel like they're directly in that category but desire to be, they still come on. Because it may just be a little bit of imposter syndrome. Like, am I great? She says she works with the great. And is that me? Yeah, it's probably you. Like, you wouldn't sit here and listen to this if it wasn't you. And if you don't know whether you have an expertise, that is what this little inexpensive rock star of a book is for. The Speak Your Way to Cash book. Chapter 3 literally covers what your expertise is, how to take action on your expertise. So read the book or listen to the book. Go on Audible and listen to the book. It's phenomenal. It was the #1 book. It's still charting. Really good book. Listen to it. And I read the audio in my own voice, like in a studio. It was a whole thing. But I want you all to know, in terms of this year, I am very focused on serving the people that I'm called to. I am very focused on serving the people who are ready to play real big this year, who are ready to challenge themselves, who are ready to dream bigger. And I'm committed to serving you guys. I'm committed to serving you guys at a high level. I'm committed to serving you all consistently. And I'm committed to challenging your comfort zones. I'm committed to it. And I've started by challenging my own. One of the things we looked at this year is, do we really love where we live? Maybe we'll move. We've started looking at homes in other states. We've started that process of figuring out, where do we want to grow our family? Because we've lived in the same place for a long time. So maybe it's time to make a move. We're analyzing different states. I've been on this journey, like up and down, of making sure my physical health was in order for a while. I've recommitted to that goal and that initiative. I'll let you all know how that goes. I'm like 7 days straight on my Peloton treadmill. Y'all know I just got it. So since they delivered it, I've been on it every single day. They just delivered one that works like 7 days ago, depending on when you're listening to this. So there's that. So I'm committed to doing all of that. I'm really excited about what 2022 will hold. I'm really focused. My word for this year is expansion. And I'm hoping that this content was helpful to you. So do me a favor. If this episode was helpful, drop helpful in the chat. Drop one takeaway that you got from this message that you're going to carry with you into this week. And share this with someone who needs it. Send the link to the podcast to a friend. Share the video if you're watching it. I literally came on in my 316 sweats today to give you guys this word before I go and do some work. But make sure this is something that you share if it was helpful, and let me know. If you have a topic you want us to cover on the Speak Your Way to Cash podcast, please do email me at ashley@speakyourwaytocash.com, and we will definitely consider your topics. I love that you guys are supporting the podcast. Thank you to the more than 40 or so people who have left reviews on the podcast. Let's get that up to 100 reviews this year, if not more. Leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. Just open the podcast app on your iPhone. Leave us a review there. But thank you, guys. I'll be keeping you guys posted as we go through this new year with this new focus. So have a good day, everyone.